Gotta picture this: the UFOs of the old days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
UFOs
Got it.
of old.
UFOs of old.
There you go.
Like those reverse big wheels.
Yeah.
The green machine.
You know, where the guys they put on a full-on suit just to ride a bicycle
Oh god.
with a little wheel in the
Yeah.
back. You know what I'm
That
talking
big
about?
old
You
wheel.
gotta like run after it. You're like, now I can get to where I'm
Get on
going.
it, you have to like jump.
Hey, you have to climb a freaking ladder.
Yeah.
It's built onto the bike. I'm getting somewhere. Can you just imagine a little pebble? You get all mangled up in the wheel. Help me, this was a horrible idea.
What?
UFOs of old.
Oh.
I think you spell old, O-L-D-E, with like a little thing maybe. I don't know, who knows, but whatever.
OOLLDE. Old day.
Not of the Old West, because that would have been...
I tried that. I
I
couldn't
know,
find
I know.
it.
All right.
All right.
Well, I found a couple.
Welcome back, everybody, to Table for Four. I'm Robert, that's Billy, Jeremy, and Nate. Continuing our series on UFOs, tonight we're going to talk about UFOs of old. That's right. We all think UFOs is a modern phenomenon, or certainly fairly recent. Recorded images began in the 70s, I think, and even back as far as 1942 with the Battle of Los Angeles. But we're talking pre-camera, really media, or at least electronic media.
Back when UFOs were made.
I'm gonna say it's got to be some of the first UFOs ever in the U.S. that us as
Documented.
Yeah.
Like as far as
what would you say?
written down.
After Columbus,
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
AC.
as far back as Chariot of the Gods, I mean, that whole thing talks about how some of these Egyptian hieroglyphs are basically talking about UFOs and celestial beings. And,
Right.
Well, yeah, you got the
There's
Egyptians,
paintings from the
Mayans.
Renaissance era that has them little UFOs in them, sending little waves and stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna show pictures of
There's a
guy
couple
in a
of them.
field
You
pointing
gonna
at
show
a
the
light.
one with the Indian and the rocket going up?
It's,
Oh, I like that
that's
one.
A little
Indian
more ancient
rocket.
than I was talking about right there, but yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people, if you guys are watching this, like us, have probably seen an episode or two of Ancient Aliens.
Yes,
And,
big fan.
Again, but tonight specifically, we're going to cover two incidents.
Two.
One,
Two very vague, not very well known.
That's what we like.
Yes.
The vague and not very well known.
Yes,
well
because
known.
that's
Like my personality.
That's all right.
us right now.
That's all right for this subject and not good for toilet paper.
Yeah. You want the good stout stuff first.
Stout stuff. Use a
Stout.
pine cone.
I just like that the toilet paper
I'm just gonna
could be
tell
vague.
you. Once you get the three,
toilet paper?
Paper. You
Hey,
can bring me to
y'all.
a toilet.
once you get the three seashells figured out, you're good to go.
Seashell.
Seashells.
Seashells.
Seashells
You know,
on the seaside.
Have you ever had to use a sock?
No.
No.
We're not that woodsy.
Not for that.
See, that would be going back to a pine cone. Back on track. You know what? It does a real good job of taking off that first layer of skin.
A sock.
No, a pine cone. What kind of socks are you wearing? I think it's time to change them out.
Just make sure your pine cone hadn't been contacted by poison ivy or poison oak.
Yeah, it's a real
wow.
bad day then.
I think I'm just gonna stay out of the woods. I'm gonna stay where there's good wipes and stuff.
What were we talking about?
Yeah, wipes and toilet paper.
So Nate, your first one. You said 16.
Yes, 1639. Way back when, near what is considered today as Boston.
So this is early North America, before the America is formed in 1776.
Yes, this is way back. This is actually from a pure. Sorry if I'm reading and doing this because I can't
okay.
remember
It's
jack.
okay.
This was
Chill.
yes.
Just checking.
Oh,
He's speaking.
I
Don't
know.
interrupt.
I'm trying not to, but it's hard.
This was recorded in John Winthrop, the governor.
Winthrop at the time.
The governor of Massachusetts Bay Colony, His journal entry dated March 1st, and he was actually recalling some events that was told to him by, quote, a sober, discreet man. known-
At
I
that
like
time-
how that's
Wait,
worded.
at that time, was there any sober person? I
I
thought
don't
like
know.
No,
I
no,
thought,
he
like-
said discreet.
I mean, they are Puritans, so I'm not sure. Might be. Because John Winthrop normally would actually record like the normal everyday challenges or real life successes that they had throughout the colonies as a way to boost morale or just keep a journal of what's going on.
Sure.
Oh.
But Mr. James Everell, the sober and discreet man, was rowing was in a boat with two other men in a muddy river, which
Swamp.
emptied into a swamp. Jesus.
We will get them.
Okay, we went from the muddy river to the
Okay,
swamp, and
screw
we're
all
gonna
that.
go from there.
As Winthrop describes it, when it stood still, it flamed up and was about 3 yards square. When it ran, it shut up. I'm trying to do this. It contracted into the figure of a swine. It ran as swift as an arrow towards Charlton, and so up and down about 2 or 3 hours. Captivated by the sight,
You know, this is like a Boston accent switching to a
Shut up.
Chinese accent.
Shut up.
Well, you're dying. Thank you.
Captivated by the sight, Everett and his companions watched the speeding light for hours. Yet the strangest part of the story, oh well, never mind, screw that. Sorry, I will be plagiarized if I keep reading that way. Basically, it, according to the account, they were, quote, they will come down in their lighter boat about a mile, pushed by the tide. Yet when the light vanished, the men realized their boat had returned to its original location. They had no memory of rowing against the tide or dropping anchor. They speculated that the light somehow transported them back to where they started.
Inca.
And then it later on goes to the 3 men weren't the only ones that actually saw this event. Divers of other credible persons saw the same light after about the same place.
Okay, that makes sense. So you had
Afterwards about the same place. And they did theorize that it could be that
A weather balloon?
No. Close. An
thought we were gonna
ignis
leave that behind
fatuus,
A
which is
what?
that swamp gas thing. Apparently,
It's always swamp gas or a weather
but
balloon.
the fact that it would go back and forth between a town and their boat for hours on end was kind of stupid.
Well,
you
it's
said
it's
it
an
was-
alligator
it
with
was-
swamp gas.
You see, yeah, well, you said it resembled a swine, right?
That's
They-
what he said.
So, I mean, what do swines produce? They produce methane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm
But
sure
the
we
fact
all
that a
tried
UFO
to.
looked like a giant pig, flying pigs.
Yep.
That's where it came from.
How many times have you tried
that
to light
are
a fire?
farting. A flying pig farting gas.
It's just some English kids freaking lighting pig farts.
I'm just telling you what they
Just get a
said.
little carried away.
They were
Literally.
enjoying themselves. That was the only entertainment they had that year. They're poor people. They're Puritans. They don't got anything else to do. It's like, ooh, look
Right,
at
and
the
it's not like there's
lights.
lights out there to you know, you'd
Yeah.
be able to see.
Back in the day, it was a little bit different because
Yeah.
You know-
you woke up before, of course, before the sun came up, and
And
you
you
pretty
didn't
much
know.
went to bed before the sun went down.
Yeah.
Um,
And you didn't have much to do except farm and produce babies.
apparently, a lot. If they have nothing better to
fish.
do than watching.
Well, they did because half the babies died.
Are we getting into this again?
Yeah,
we
that
already
was-
went over this.
I know.
We're not going.
Well, let's carry on to the next one before I go off the left side.
Was that a political reference?
No,
I don't
I'm a
know.
righty.
Good.
He's a righty.
It's a baseball reference. I got it.
Oh yeah, baseball. There's a ball and bats.
It's a ball and
Sorry.
bats.
There's
Okay.
a bat and balls included, but
Fast forward to 1808.
And a mitt.
Miss Cynthia Everett, a 24-year-old Massachusetts woman who was a school teacher in Camden, Maine, recorded in her diary something kind of similar to that. July 22nd, it reads, and I
As
quote.
I went to bed and flowered myself with a.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Now we're going off the deep end. That's too far.
Subtle
the table
hints.
before after dark.
Subtle hints.
This is a child show.
Okay.
What?
This is not a child show.
Go to bed, little Timmy.
Sexy ghosts.
Did you say sexy goats?
Ghosts.
Ma. Help me.
Ghosts.
Dude, now you know why I laugh.
Enunciation is really important here at Table for
Yes,
Four.
it is.
If not, you will get made fun of.
Oh yeah. Oh God, where was I?
Okay, so flowered or
No,
something.
that wasn't part of it.
What?
And I quote: About 10 o'clock, I saw a very strange appearance. It was a light which proceeded from the east. At the first sight, I thought it was a meteor, but from its motion, I soon perceived it was not. It seemed to dart at first as quickly as light, and appeared it to be in the atmosphere, but lowered toward the ground and kept on at an equal distance, sometimes ascending and sometimes descending.
I got it figured out. I know what it is. Paul Revere.
Aha. What is that?
I think it's a little after that.
Just a little. Paul Revere, 1776, 1778. This is 1808. So
1808.
It's kids
It's
like
the
bullfrogs.
ghost
Okay, okay.
Bullfart.
I just figured, you know, he's
It's
going up
another
and down.
sub-part.
The English are coming, the English are coming.
It's just bullfrog farts being lit on fire.
By Paul Revere.
Watch this, Bobby.
Paul Revere and
Hey,
a case of
yeah.
beer. I mean, honestly.
Can we reference Beastie Boys, Paul Revere?
We can reference it. I can't play it.
Oh, damn. It's a good song.
Yeah.
So do we? Where are we at with Miss Cynthia? Do we?
Cynthia,
think it was legitimate?
that is legitimately the only thing that I could find on her, but it was a nice and obscure one that I liked.
I like that too.
I like
Well,
that.
yeah.
I mean,
I like
you
that.
don't hear many women ever having much to say back in that time.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Because they weren't allowed to
No.
talk.
Right.
Right. Or
And
vote.
she
Both.
happened to record this in
Well,
her
actually,
diary.
voting's very interesting because most
Oh,
people
jeez.
back in that time and day and age, where nobody was allowed to vote unless you had owned a certain amount of land.
Right.
That's right.
So even people, you know,
But,
like everyday average people, we couldn't vote. We weren't allowed to vote. Even, you know, I mean, just the way it was.
Yeah, it's just the way it
We
was.
spoke about this before, the Barney and Betty.
Oh yeah.
Barney,
Yeah.
She's still at 85. 'Cause she died at 85.
Yeah.
Who did?
Still to that day, she was still talking
Betty.
about their
Betty.
experience.
Yeah, and I think again that to
Betty
me,
Hill.
I feel like if you would,
Betty and
if
Barney
you
Hill.
had gone
Betty
that
Hill.
long and it was a
The
lie,
first-
then it would be.
Yeah, that
Abduction
age,
story that
Yeah,
sounded
'cause you
like
get
it
wisdom
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
where they
you
wanted
just
his
want to be.
Yeah.
jism and then
You
they
want it
wanted
clear.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
probably
not,
just
so
edited that out,
speaks
but-
to her, speaks to her.
I just realized what I said. I'm sorry.
yeah, there was so much crosstalk just then. But what Robert and I were talking about is at that age, because she still continued to talk about her experience with UFO, well, her abduction.
Their abduction, her and her husband's abduction.
At the age of 85.
Right.
But, I mean, you got to take things that if it goes for so long, the story doesn't really change, and especially age into account, that if their story stays the same and they continue to talk about it, that's just not necessarily that it's true, but they
Certainly
at least
does
believe
give it a
it's true.
big,
Yeah.
big
Boost.
boost of credibility and
Now I do
you
have
know.
another one of
I'll
some
say that.
army people.
Well,
let's hear it.
let's hear it.
If you
We're
want.
in for
Let's
that.
hear it.
I mean, it's not back in the past, but
That's
Oh,
okay.
is
okay.
it Rendlesham?
no,
Oh.
it is that one I was talking to you about before.
Oh, okay.
The one I picked out just because of the dude's name.
Sometimes
Oh,
that can
that's
be
right.
enough.
Wait, I got one real quick. Space Jams.
What?
Michael Jordan.
No, it's just Space
It's
Jam.
Jam.
you
There's
old
no
shit.
S.
Whatever.
What the hell dare you? Yeah.
Jeez.
He came up with it though. I love that he came up with it. Like, he's like,
Space Jams.
no.
Jams.
This is no,
Michael
no.
Jordan and the Bugs Bunny, they're
Yeah.
no.
This is no. He's that old guy. It's like, hey, you guys want to hear something hip? I'm going to tell you something about Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan. It's called Space Jam.
There's a Space Jam 2 coming out with LeBron.
Okay, back on to more important
So
stuff.
during the Cold War,
LeBron James
More
came in.
important stuff. A good thing I didn't say more exciting stuff.
I know, right? In California, your favorite
Stomping
place
grounds.
to be.
Yes.
Welcome back to
Colonel H.G. Shaw and Camille Spooner.
Oh boy.
There's a Spooner.
He was popular with the ladies.
Oh yes, he's
It sounds like he's
Spooner
popular with the camel.
Very Spooner there.
Spooning camels.
In the small town of Lodi to the they were traveling from Lodi to Fresno to the Citrus Fair, and they said they came across 3 beings that were, well, not human. Oh wait, that was part of the, sorry. According to Shaw, the aliens tried to abduct them, but with Shaw and Spooner were much too heavy to kidnap. Because they described him as like 7 foot tall, slinky, like slim people, slim beings. Apparently, they were not
Strong.
to lift somebody who'd had a lot of food.
What you're saying is if the aliens came to our world today, they wouldn't be able to abduct any of us because we're all
I
fat.
am safe.
Here soon.
We're all safe.
I am safe.
They're just gonna leave us. We're gonna be like, cows.
Forget that.
They're gonna be like the cows, man. They're just gonna leave us. They're gonna take our rectum, because usually that's what they do. They scoop out our rectum and take our take the cow lips. Isn't that what they do? And they drain all the blood.
I
Okay,
didn't
well,
know
that
all
was-
that.
I don't know.
It should have been
So
awkward.
anyway,
I
Shaw-
thought that was a little freaky.
Shaw was like, I have a theory, which of course is only a theory. That why did I just go?
I don't know.
He sounds like he's probably, that's
don't
how
know.
he talks.
In California?
No, this guy
That
Shaw
those
was,
we beheld
smarty
were
pants.
inhabitants of Mars, who have been sent to the Earth for the purpose of securing one of its inhabitants. Shaw, he actually wrote in a published thing in the Evening Mail, which is a Stockton newspaper at the time. That is what he wrote. That he wrote his theory in the most country way possible.
I mean, A.
It's
and
like
B,
finding those
that-
tornado victims that are all just Southern hicks.
Right.
Yeah, and it done took my trailer.
They done
and
took
it
it up
picked it
there.
up about 5 feet off the ground and it threw it over into Jebediah's field.
Now they did say it was a certain shaped
I find that very
or
offensive.
flying thing. Do you know what that certain
I have a
shape would
trailer.
be?
I'm going cigar shaped.
You read it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Cigar shape?
It is a cigar shaped.
a certain phallic shaped object?
You could go with that.
Yeah.
Apparently, it flew over the state and crash landed outside Aurora.
Ooh.
Ooh, speaking of Aurora, supposedly that is the one that I was talking to you about. Supposedly there's
wait.
a government spacecraft called the Aurora.
That was a year later, by the way.
Wow.
Look it up. It's kind of interesting. Don't know if it's real. Don't really care. It's cool. Aurora, look up spacecraft over Paris, France. Pretty cool.
Because that won't.
You know what's really wild if you think
magazine.
about it? You've
What?
had so many different spacecrafts and stuff that have been seen by many different people in all different countries, everywhere from China to Africa, France, London,
That's right.
all over the U.S.
Well, yeah, and as we can
You
see,
know, at
that
some point they
it-
do have to come out and just say, "Hey guys, okay, here's the deal. We got either people coming back from the coming in time machines with
From the
ships
feud?
from the future is what I was going to say.
Oh.
They're coming back in time, or they're just going to come out and say, "Hey, look, all right, there's really aliens, and there's this whole bunch of species here. These ones like us. These ones don't like us. These ones keep these ones from eating us."
I think, yeah, I like that.
Because
I think,
we're
again,
just
those
so
good ones,
tasty.
bad ones, it's just like anything else. We're gonna,
Yeah.
this disclosure is
And
gonna help with that.
somebody apparently really likes us because we're here still.
Well, another thing about that is, and it's really cool because I mean, if you guys ever do any research on inner Earth or hollow Earth theory,
Colonel Bird.
yep. Supposedly, there's still, I guess, our part of us that have ventured into the interior of the Earth. There's a star, so forth, so on, but they're so far advanced that
There is a map around here. I think I brought in here somewhere, and it actually shows it.
Oh yeah,
We
good.
had it in our first episode, I believe.
Did we? Where did it
Yeah,
go?
we put it somewhere.
I don't know. The government took it.
Oh.
I might have took it back home. I didn't think I did, but anyway.
But yeah, there's actually.
Sorry.
We're trying to be professional here.
You can edit that
Okay,
out.
going back to what I was talking about is supposedly, far more advanced because, they've learned peace, love, hippie.
Crabs.
that-
I thought it was peace, love, and crabs.
No.
That's just a shirt.
That
Never
was
mind.
a bad summer for you. I do apologize. Next
I
time
like lobster.
we know not to share underwear. At first, I thought they were just mutated dingleberries.
Holly Harrison. No, very sorry.
Wow.
Okay, going back to what I was talking about is there's an actual other account, good UFO. It's called actually UFO Wars, and it talks about after the whole Richard Byrd incident when he was coming back. The inhabitants of Inner Earth said, "Hey, stop the nuclear testing, so forth, so on, or we will be forced to act." And supposedly they act, and they kicked our ass. But supposedly they made what we see as far as the basic saucer-shaped craft. So yeah, that's another thing that I want to dip into. Of course, is hollow Earth theory.
Hollow Earth.
It's
That's a
not like-
whole other show.
yeah, it's not.
a
It's
good
not
one.
flat Earth. No offense to all you flat Earthers, but you're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
But please keep watching and
Yes.
leave comments.
Yeah,
and
and,
remember to like it. And thanks again.
I'm-
Until next time on Table for Four. Ghost.
Yes.
You don't want to go?
Shouldn't I be with my shirt off and on that pottery's wheel?
And-
Nate kind of zooms in next time on Table for Four.
We don't have a pottery wheel, dude.